Good morning students. I Purnima welcome you to my class, and today I am going to do a new chapter, The Happy Prince of Your Supplementary Reader. It is written by Oscar Wilde. So it is written by Oscar Wilde. Now, Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty's Will Wilde. Now see, his name is not Oscar Wilde, it's a short name. His full name is very big, and let me tell you what is his full name. Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde. He was born on 16 October 1854, and he was an Irish poet and playwright. After writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. So children, this is written by him, and let me give you the introduction of the chapter. The Happy Prince is written by Oscar Wilde. The story touches the softest corner of our hearts. A prince who remains happy in his palace when he is alive, but feels sorrowful after death. His statue is placed in the center of the city. He is a kind nature, so he wants to help the poor and the needy persons. Oscar Wilde's other story, The Selfish Giant, is also very interesting, and so it is worth reading. Now, in this story, now let me tell you the background of the story and the theme of the story. So first I would like to tell about the background of the story, and children, I would also like to tell you this story, the Happy Prince is a wonderful allegory. What is this? It is a allegory. Now what is the meaning of allegory? Now let me tell you. An allegory is a story, poem or picture. So allegory can be a story, it can be a picture, it can be a poem that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. So a hidden meaning must be there in the lesson, and we have to interpret that meaning, typically a moral or political one. Basically that meaning might be a political one or a children, a moral story. So an allegory is a story, poem or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or a political one. Now I would like to tell you about the background and the summary of the story. So children, the story is an allegory. I just told you now what is an allegory. Is a story, allegory is a story or a poem or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. So the story is an what? Allegory. It brings out the importance of charity. What is the meaning of charity? To give away something, benevolence. We learn that love and sacrifice can endear us to God. The prince in the story is now no living prince. He is dead, and his statue is in the middle of the city. When he was alive, he was very happy, and that's why the title of the story is The Happy Prince. But now he is no more, he is dead. He is the statue of a dead prince decorated with gold leaves and precious stones. Now children, after death, the royalty has decided that his statue would be placed in the center of the city, okay, and with gold leaves, and it was covered, the whole statue was covered with gold leaves and precious stone. He is known as the Happy Prince because there is a smile on his lips. So children, that statue became famous by the name of Happy Prince because there was a smile on his lips. But the smile gradually gives way to tears. Now, children, the smile, it gives way to tears. The happy prince cannot help crying over the scene of misery in the house of paper. Now, children, when the statue was standing there, the tears started coming from the eyes of happy prince. Why? Because children, the prince cannot help crying because he can see the misery and the unhappiness of the people. And children, there were so many needy people in his city who really needs help, otherwise they would perish, they would die. He decided to help them with his gold leaves and costly stone. So children, he decided to help these people with the gold leaves which was covered on his body, and children, and the costly stone like ruby was there in his sword, children, emerald was there, okay, all these stones were there, sapphire was there, which was used in his eyes. So he wanted that these people should be given away all these stones and gold leaves, and they will be a bit happy. A little swallow who had flown in from Egypt breaks his flight and take rest at the feet of the prince. Whereas a little swallow was there, and who had flown in front of Egypt, break his flight and take rest at the feet of the prince. The little bird acts as his messenger, and he gives away all his wealth. Now, children, the prince told the bird to help him. The bird at first wanted to move to Egypt because all his friends were waiting for him, but he could not go to Egypt because prince requested him to stay with him and to help some people with gold and the stone which he had on his statue. Anyway, the swallow decided to help the prince. He liked the prince very much, and he was he was a generous person, so he decided to help the prince. This little bird acted as his messenger. Prince had detained him to help the poor. The swallow was on his way. Now, children, the swallow on his way back to his homeland when the prince had detained him to help the poor. So finally, the prince detained him to help the poor, and he had also agreed. He still wished to go back, but now it was too late. Now, children, when after helping, when the swallow wanted to return back to his friend, but then it was too late, and he decided that he would be staying with the prince, who was really having a very generous nature. He was very kind. The intense cold killed him, and finally, children, the cold was there, and finally he was killed. Thus, the little swallow lost his life while helping the poor. His death broke the prince's heart. Now, children, when the little swallow died, his death broke the prince's heart. So the swallow and the prince perished for a noble cause, and he also died. So both of them perished for a noble cause. But their death was not the end. It made them immortal. That is why the angels selected the dead swallow and the lifeless heart of the prince as the noblest thing on earth. The story teaches a very useful and true lesson. We learn that God loves those who loves their fellow human being. Okay, so children, this was the story, and now I would like to tell you the point-wise summary of the story. So, I would like to tell you the point-wise summary of the statue. So, my first point is a statue of a prince. A statue of a prince. A statue of a prince stood in the city center. Okay, so the statue stood on the city center. It was the statue of the happy prince. He was very happy when he was alive. After death, the king and the queen decided to place his statue in the city center. It was covered with golden leaves, two sapphires fitted in his eyes, and a ruby in his sword hilt. The prince looked around and found the poor, miserable condition. He wanted to help them but was helpless. Salo's rest. Now, my second point is Salo rest. Okay, so one night a Salo happened to rest at the prince's feet, but the prince was crying that day. Why he was crying? Because he had seen the misery of the people. So one night Salo he came. One night a Salo happened to rest at the prince's feet, but prince tears fell on him. Surprised on looking above, he found that tears were coming from prince's eyes. The Salo was going to Egypt to meet his friend. In fact, he was so tired and the night was there, so he had to stay back in there. And but the prince requested him to stay there to help him, and he finally helped. Now the prince asked him to take out the ruby from his sword hilt and go to an old seamstress who needed money. Her son was ill. He wanted oranges, but his mother could not afford. Ruby to seamstress and sapphire to the playwright. The Salo flew to her place the ruby. Now when he saw that a lady was there, her son was very ill, he was suffering from fever. So he told the prince that he told the Salo to place the ruby on the table. The Salo flew to her, placed the ruby on the table, fanned the sick son off, and flew back to the prince. The next night, the prince requested the Salo to pick out one sapphire from his one eye and take it to playwright, who was unable to complete his play because of too much cold. The Salo flew to the playwright and placed the sapphire on the withered violets. The playwright's eyes fell on the sapphire. He was happy that he would be able to complete his play. The Salo flew back. So in this way, the happy prince was helping the people in his city by giving the gold leaves and the precious stone, and he was taking the help of Salo. Now children, other incident was that a little girl was there who was selling the match, and her match fell to the gutter. Now she was crying because as she will earn no money and give it to her father, his father will beat him. So the happy prince told the Salo to give the girl the sapphire. The happy prince thanked him and requested again to go to the square below where a little match girl was standing. Her matches had fallen in the gutter. She was crying. Her father would beat her for not bringing money. He asked the Salo to take another sapphire from his second eye and fly to the match girl to give that sapphire to her. The Salo flew to her, placed the jewel in her palm, and came back. The girl felt very happy. Gold sheets to the poor. Now the Salo decided not to go to the Egypt. Now children, this is the fifth point which I am going to write. Gold sheets to the poor. So what was the third point? Third point was ruby to seamsters. Ruby to and sapphire to play right. Okay. Now, Now my fourth, another sapphire to the match girl. Fifth. Fifth is gold sheet to the poor. Gold sheet to the poor. Okay. Now the Salo decided not to go to Egypt. The prince asked him to go, but he refused because prince had become blind and the Salo could not leave him alone. The Salo now went to the city lanes every night, noted the miserable condition of the poor people, and reported the matter to the prince. He asked him to tear off the gold sheet of his body, leaf after leaf, and give it to the poor children so that their hunger was satisfied. The Salo did as the prince had told him to do. Okay, now children, the last and the touching point is the death of the Salo. Death of the Salo. The little Salo grew older and older but did not leave the prince. He knew that he was going to die, so he lay at prince's feet. The prince asked him to kiss on his lips. "I love you," he said. The Salo told him that he was going not to Egypt but to the house of death, which was the brother of sleep. That night the Salo fell down and died at the feet of the happy prince. Now children, when the prince realized that the Salo is no more with him, he was so upset that even his heart cracked. A crack burst in his statue and was cut into two pieces. Demolition of the statue. My next point is demolition of the statue. Next morning, the mayor and the town councillor looked at the statue and ordered for its demolition because of its shabby looks. They saw the dead bird also lying on his feast. Bird should not be allowed to die there, town clerk said, both in heaven. Children, okay, so now what happened, children? Finally, the statue was pulled down. It could neither be melted nor broken, so it was thrown on a dust heap where the dead Salo was also lying. She was dead no more. Her body was there, but the soul has left. The writer wants to show that both remained together even after death. God said to his angel, "Which are the two most precious things to the city?" One angel reply was, "The little bird and the happy prince. Send them to heaven," the God told them. And in this way, children, both the bird, the heart, and the soul of the prince and the bird reached the heaven. So children, this was the summary of the lesson, and now the theme of the story I'm going to discuss now. So what is the theme of the story? The theme of the story is Happy Prince is a wonderful allegory that is packed with valuable themes such as social injustice, judging a book by its cover, the disparity between the poor and the wealthy, loss of innocence, sacrifice, love, empathy, and compassion. An allegory is a story. So, and I told you about allegory. It's a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. Okay, so now I'm going to explain the lesson. So I'm going to read the lesson, The Happy Prince. Now it is chapter number 5 of your book, The Moment. The Happy Prince. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. He was covered with gold. He had sapphire for eyes and ruby in his sword. Why did he want to part with all the gold that he had and his precious stones? High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the Happy Prince. So children, it was the city and there was a high above the city, a tall column was there, and there stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was gilded all over with thin leaves. Okay, so gilded means children covered thinly with gold leaf or paint. Gilded means covered thinly with gold leaf or paint. So high above the city on a tall column stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was gilded. Gilded means covered all over with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes he had 2 bright sapphires and a large red ruby glowed on his forehead. Now children, sapphire is a precious blue color stone. Okay, so that sapphire was used in place of his eyes. 2 bright sapphire and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. And on his sword hilt, children, a very precious stone which is known as ruby. It is of red color that was glowing on his sword hilt. In the picture, children, you can see the beautiful statue of the Happy Prince. Okay. One night they flew over the city a little swallow. Now children, swallow is a small bird which soar very high. So one night they flew over the city a little swallow. His friend had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before. Now children, that swallow friend had already gone to Egypt 6 weeks ago, but he had stayed behind. Then he decided to go to Egypt too. So he also decided to go to Egypt. All days long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. So children, whole day he flew, and during the night he came to the city. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope the town has made preparation. Now children, he was a stranger. He knew that it is the duty of the town to make a preparation for the stranger to stay. So he started looking for a place where he could stay, and he started saying to himself, where shall I put up? Where shall I put up means where should I go and take a rest? So what is the meaning of swallow? It is a migratory, swift flying songbird with a forked tail and a long pointed wings. Now, then he saw the statue on the tall column, and he started looking here and there, and what did he saw? He saw the statue of the Happy Prince which was standing on the tall column. I will put up there, he cried. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the Happy Prince. I have a golden bedroom. Now children, he went there. He started taking rest at the feet of the Happy Prince, and he started saying that I have a golden bedroom. When he saw here and there, he saw the body of the Happy Prince which was covered with gold student. So he thought they are sleeping in a golden bedroom. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself as he looked round, and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. Now children, when he was going to sleep, he saw a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing. Now he's saying that there's no cloud, and then it is raining. He was not aware that somebody is crying. The water drop was coming from the eyes of the happy prince. So he looked here and there. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. The stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. So he is telling the stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. Then another drop fell, and children, another drop fell. What is the use of a statue if it cannot keep the rain off? Now children, he started cursing to the statue that what is the use of I'm staying under the statue and it cannot keep the rain off. So he started telling that what is the use of the statue. I must look for a good chimney pot, and he determined to fly away. Now he was thinking to stay at a good chimney plot. But before he had opened his wing, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw, what did he see? Now children, before, as he was going to fly, he suddenly looked up, and children, you know what did he see? He saw the eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears. He had seen that the statue under which he was sleeping, that the statue's eyes were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. So what was happening? The tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little fellow was filled with pity. Now children, in the moonlight, the beautiful face he had seen, and from that face the tears were falling from his eyes. So little fellow was filled with pity. Who are you? He asked. He asked the prince, who are you? I am the happy prince. A voice came from the statue, and he introduced himself. I am the happy prince. Why are you weeping then? Asked the fellow. You have quite drenched me, he told. Why are you weeping? You have quite drenched me. When I was alive and had a human heart, answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the place where sorrow is not allowed to enter. So he told, when I was alive and had a human heart, answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the palace where sorrow is not allowed to enter. So he told, where sorrow is not allowed to enter, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the palace where sorrow is not allowed to enter. My courtiers called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. So he told that when I was alive, when I was in the palace, the sorrows did not entered my place, and I was indeed a very happiest person in the world. I was not aware that what sorrows were. So I lived, and my courtiers called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. So all his courtiers called him happy prince, and he was a very happy indeed. And so I lived, and so I died. And now, children, I died also. And now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high that I can see the ugliness and all the misery of my city. Now he told the fellow that after his death, his courtiers, he placed them in the form of a statue in the middle of the city on the children. And he is telling, now I can see the ugliness and the misery of my city. And though my heart is made of lead, yet I cannot choose but weep. He told, my heart is made of lead. Lead means it's a metal. But then also I can feel the sorrowness and the emotion, but I could not weep. But I cannot choose but weep. What is he not solid gold? Said the soldier to himself. He was too polite to make any person inform. Now children, the fellow thought, oh, this prince, he was thinking he is made of solid gold, but he was not made of solid gold. He was thinking that why is he not solid gold? Said the fellow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remark, but the fellow was very, what to say, children, he was very good, and he was too polite to make any personal remark. So with this, I end my video here. and the next part of the story will be there in other video classes. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Good day, student.